Hi there, everybody. This is Carrie Hamblin, the CEO and president of the Las Cruces Green Chamber of Commerce, coming to you again with a Zoom chat, another one of our Zoom chats for our member businesses. And we have the one and only Maria LaQuerre Diego here from A New Hope Therapy Center. Maria, it is so lovely to see your face.
Oh, it's so good to see you. It's been a bit.
It has been a bit, and we've all been working hard to try and do what we can do to help, in your case, help your clients, us help our member businesses, and help make sure that we can kind of get back to as close as normal as possible. And so, love that you're here. If you will, talk a little bit about your business, because you've been in business for quite some time now.
Yeah. So the business has been established for about 13 years. This is my fourth year as owner of our group practice. So we provide mental health counseling from ages 3 all the way through the lifespan. We offer family and couples counseling, relational counseling. So we've been doing this a while, and it's been really exciting. We've definitely had to pivot in our new landscape for sure. But my husband and I have been owners now for 4 years and really just kind of expanding services to make it accessible for everyone,
Right.
which is one of the biggest shifts.
Yeah, that's been the big issue. So when you say you've pivoted, I mean, I know a lot of folks went to telehealth and mental health. And so you were probably doing a lot of what we're doing right now.
Yes, a lot of Zoom fatigue for sure. But we've also started implementing walk and talk sessions where masked individuals can meet up with their therapists at the Horseshoe at NMSU or another public spot and kind of walk while still getting the support that they need. And we've learned to make Zoom fun. So we have groups that are doing D&D campaigns, therapeutic D&D gaming campaigns online.
Dungeons and Dragons, for those who may not.
Dungeons and Dragons, for those that aren't speak geek. We do gaming groups for incoming 6th graders. We did a whole Among Us group for them to work on social cues and social skills and get a buddy for who may be going into 6th grade just like them, which was kind of a big deal last year when it was online and virtual. So yeah, we've been learning to have a lot of fun with the new landscape of therapy. It's also really convenient that we can just be a link on your phone or on a tablet. So people that have had to return to in-person work but can't take the time to drive across town, they can log in on a lunch hour or come in 1 hour early and get to see their therapist from the comfort of their own home or their office without travel being a hindrance.
Maria, the walk and talk, I think that's just absolutely brilliant because for so many people, the lack of personal connection was so hard. I mean, there were those introverts who were like, yes, finally. But then there were those who really needed that, and those who that personal connection is really essential to their mental health, of making sure that they have FaceTime with people. So you were able to do that and modify that to where that was a safe situation. So kudos to you for doing that.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it looks everything from adults walking with their therapist around the Horseshoe, meeting a mom at the playground so her kids can play, but she gets to chat with her therapist. We've been really, really kind of creative with that. But yes, I mean, a lot of people have been needing that social interaction and to get out of their house. We've all been kind of living in our house and we're all sick of looking at the same 4 walls. And we're very, very blessed to live in Las Cruces with, beautiful weather most of the time and lots of great places to walk and talk or sit and look at really nice scenery while we're chatting about stress and how to get life back on track.
Right. So without, obviously divulging anything regarding your clients, what have been some of the things that you're finding are common themes that people have been dealing with? Because when you talk about Zoom fatigue, it's real. There are people who are spending 8 hours a day sitting in their computer chair, looking at a computer screen, having to navigate their world electronically. So what have been some of the themes that you found, Maria, in your care that you've been giving to people?
Yeah, absolutely. So with the state and our city kind of reopening, there was a big rush of anxiety about being back out and what is the next, what's the next variant going to be, or what, how am I really keeping myself safe? So a lot of just anxiety to returning to normal, whatever that means anymore. We've got school coming up, so a lot of anxiety about what is that going to look like? A lot of excitement from kids, but are also nervous, especially of those that stayed remote all year last year. There's some hesitancy about, what the first day of school is going to look like. Same for teachers and school staff. We just did a big PR for them, letting them know that we've got people not connected to our city, so that if school staff and teachers are feeling the pressure and the anxiety, we've got people that can help them with that too. One of the biggest things, though, that's come across, well, there's two. One is relationship issues.
Right.
A pandemic has strengthened or broken many relationships. They've been through trials and tests that, we didn't really have on our radar before. And then also just kind of lots of loss, right? Yeah. So there's a lot of grieving, both for like losing loved ones through the pandemic loss of business, right? A lot of people have had to close down their businesses, and also a loss of identity. When our home life is also our work life and also our parenting life and also the only way we get to see our friends, there's this sense of loss of identity because it's all kind of commingled together. So you don't get to switch your hats from, work mom to boss babe to handyman at the house because something needs to get fixed. It's all there all the time. And so that's one of the biggest things that we've also seen from people is just kind of, who am I if I don't identify as just a professional or just a parent? And so that's been a lot of good work being done too.
Yeah. How did you, as a practitioner, kind of have to you've been incredibly flexible, but you've had to really kind of modify your approaches and really kind of do it almost immediately because of your clients and your patients. And so how did you do that just personally?
Yeah, well, I kind of hit pause when everything was happening. We bowed out early, like we saw the writing on the wall, if you will. So I took a weekend. Friday the 13th was the last time we were all in the office, right? Like that date will be infamy.
Yep.
But I took that weekend and moved all of our forms online, made everything a seamless online only, procedure. And then we just kind of implemented it. And so like, this is what has to happen. And most people were really, really accommodating. Of course, back then we always thought it was going to be like, a month, maybe. But because it is like, we're able to see people from all over the state, because they don't have to come to our office for anything, not for paperwork, not for putting their card on file, like it's all seamless. So we're able to see people all over the state. We're able to see people in rural areas that would take them 45 minutes, an hour to get to our office. But I really just had to sit and hit pause and go, okay, how do I still make this accessible? Because we're going to be needed now more than ever. And we can't just rely on paper and pen the way we used to.
Right. And do you think that this is, the pandemic has brought up all of the inequities that many of us have been talking about for years, and also showed us that there are different ways of doing things when we have to that may actually be better in the long run. And so are you finding that with all of your documents and really making it accessible for people through this technology?
Absolutely. We've all had to shift. I've got 20 practitioners in my group. And when I said, hey guys, we're all doing Zoom now, there was a very mass kind of feeling of like, no, we don't do therapy over Zoom. That's not what we do. And there was a lot of bumps in the road and some adjusting to get on it. But now I think we're going to forever have a hybrid model because it is so accessible to those that need to fit it in on a tight schedule, don't want to wait in the lobby with people that they may know, or can't easily come to an in-person appointment for whatever reason, we've been able to easily fit in on lunch breaks and stuff, but also like a parent who has an older like child who can watch the kids for 45 minutes so that mom can sit in her car and have a private conversation with her therapist. I don't think that's going to go away. I think that this is like a new future for therapy. We won't ever stop in-person therapy, but now we know we're just as effective and even more accessible when we can offer both.
Right, right. Well, I'm so glad that you're doing that, and we'd mentioned about how school's starting up again, and it's going to be a different world. Kids are going to be wearing masks, and we're still not out of the woods yet with the new variants, and so your work is certainly going to be ongoing as well. But what do you see in preparation of the school year, and how to help families and parents and teachers, especially our teachers,
Yes.
get through this?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got quite a few blog pieces on our website that kind of talk about parenting during the pandemic and some of the things that came up. We also offer a lot of like group sessions for kids, which are really helpful because they have their peers that they can also kind of relate to. But yeah, we're expecting a high level of stress, a high level of anxiety, a lot of uncertainty, right? Like last year alone showed us like we could think we have a plan in place, and then next week we'll have a different plan in place. And so that transitioning can be really hard, especially for kids who need structure.
Right.
The going to school 1 week and then doing it on Zoom 1 week, like that takes a toll on people and parents too, right? We're having to switch our schedules. If they go back to online learning, people are going to have to switch again. So a lot of transitions, a lot of uncertainty and anxiety. And sometimes it just helps to have someone sit there and go, yes, you are anxious. That is a normal reaction. With everything going on right now, no one is coming out of this unscathed or unhurt in some way. But just to have someone go, yep, that would be extremely frustrating. And let's talk about this. How can you take care of yourself during this difficult time?
Right. Well, and that validation in some cases is all what's needed to help somebody feel comfortable in owning the anxiety, and then also looking at how they can acquire the tools to manage it.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah, and
tell
we
I've,
do. I
I've
mean,
had therapy, so you can tell I know that language too. And
that's good language there.
thank goodness for it. Strongly recommend it to anybody, and especially during a pandemic, and especially during times when we've already got the normal stressors that come in, and now
Yes.
we've got this that just drops like a boulder on people.
And it changed everything for most of us. We've had losses and changes and pivots. Like, my team teased in the very beginning of all this, was like, how many times are we going to have to pivot? And I was like, indefinitely. It's just going to do what it does. But I mean, therapy is really just someone who's in your corner to support you. It's not what it used to be. In fact, like, we do geek therapy, like that's my little stormtrooper. Like,
Oh, there you go.
I talk about anger with like Hulk references and light side, dark side of the Jedi. And you can have therapy, doesn't have to be boring. It can be hard because the things that we deal with are hard. But if you've got a therapist that you've connected with, I mean, I use quotes from Black Widow and WandaVision in sessions and Schitt's Creek. Like,
oh, good.
It doesn't, you did.
Did
It
it.
doesn't
So I
have
like the
to be.
rosé and sometimes a merlot.
Yes.
Perfect.
Wasn't
Right?
that beautiful?
Best
Wasn't
line
that
ever.
beautiful? He's a genius. But it doesn't have to be lie on the couch and tell me about your mother, right? Like, we're not old white men. We are people and fans of things and are living our lives in our communities too. So this is a person that's going to understand kind of what you're going through and it's going to have your back.
Yeah, that's exactly what should happen. And I'm so glad you're doing this. And I love that you bring in Star Wars stuff and all kind of the popular culture, because then it makes it easier for people to kind of understand once you find them where they are, then you can meet them there.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Like if you walk into our offices, you're going to see Harry Potter and Star Wars and, I have my little Dan Levy pop doll on my shelf, right? Like my practice is called A New Hope. Like it's pretty clear that we're nerdy people who
Right.
are passionate about the same things that you guys are. And we can talk about those things and how they relate to what you're going through.
Yeah. Just to let you know, so as a tribute to Dan Levy, I got new glasses.
Yes,
Yes.
those are
So,
perfect.
thank you. Thank you. But they also have
Perfect.
the screen reflex. Um, so I know that we could probably just talk and talk and talk and talk. And I don't want it to be like a therapy session for you to me, but I love what you're doing and I'm so glad that you're available. And we'll post your website and contact information in the text. But if you're interested in the services that a New Hope Therapy Center provides, or find that you just may need somebody to be on your side and to validate you during the time where you're experiencing stress and anxiety and depression, then you can give them a call and check with Maria and her 20 other staff members. Thank you so much for what you're doing. And as we prepare for the school year, I've got 7 teachers on my street. Um,
Oh,
yeah. So, thinking
of
about
my
all of
number.
them, I'll give you your number. And thinking about all of them as they head back to school and thinking about the good work that you're doing to help folks really, really address some really challenging times. So thank you so much, Maria. Appreciate you greatly.
Thank you. Yeah, it's our pleasure. We love doing what we do. That's why we do it.
Right. All right. Well, if you'd like to do a Zoom chat to promote your business or what you're doing, you can go ahead and contact me here on the Las Cruces Green Chamber Facebook page, or you can email me at carrie@locallascruces.com, and we'll be more than happy to schedule that at your convenience and get those out and share those with everybody in our social media network. So thank you so much, Maria. It's great seeing your face. I do hope that at some point I get to see you face to face soon. But until then, we're going to continue wearing our masks and encourage everybody to get vaccinated.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Thank
You have a great day.
you too.
All right. Bye bye.